Desk Wars is the first segment in the seventh episode of the eighth season of Arthur, and honestly, I didn't love it. It's very realistic, but not very interesting. So I don't know. Maybe this is the first episode of Arthur where I've thought maybe this would only appeal to me if I were younger. But it did also give me some nostalgic memories because, as I said, it is quite realistic. It's called Desk Wars because the children in Mr. Ratburn's class keep having to move to different desks, and that does happen. It's one of the hottest days of the year. Everybody's kind of feeling agitated and irritated, and while Mr. Ratburn's writing something on the chalkboard, they're all kind of talking among themselves and bickering. The brain's currently building this contraption in his desk. Muffy's putting up a skirt on her desk. And they begin to get on in each other, and some of them start to bicker, and Mr. Ratburn tells some of them to move desks, and that's literally the extent of what happens. They're just constantly squabbling on this very hot day, and it gets worse when Mr. Ratburn has to step out of the classroom for a moment. And as I said, it is very realistic. There are many times, when particularly in primary school, when somebody has to move to a different desk because they won't stop talking or they're getting on somebody's nerves. But this is definitely a game of musical chairs. Everybody's swapping with everybody. And it is a horrible feeling. I don't know if it's something that anybody else remembers, but when you have to sit at a different desk, I'll be honest, I was never moved to a different desk. I was a good girl. But when you go to like a different desk because you're doing group work or you have to go and sit next to somebody to do projects with them, it feels weird. It feels really weird to be on a different part of the classroom, particularly if you've got a different view of the board all of a sudden, and everything's so bizarre. So that element of it was relatable, and it took me back to certain moments in my childhood when this kind of thing happened. But honestly, it's not that interesting. Not that much happens. In terms of the pacing, it's very good. It starts off quite slow, with just a few children whispering under their breath here and there, and then the volume gets louder and the bickering gets more intense, and ultimately it just becomes crazy, a classroom out of control, which is a very realistic situation. So as a viewer, as an adult watching it, I didn't love it, but it did bring me back to certain things in my childhood that I'd not thought about moving desks in a long time. And aside from that, apart from the Judo Kitten stickers, which I loved, I thought that was adorable. Such a great concept. Oh, and another bit that I did love is when Arthur had to move, tiny spoiler of course, when Arthur had to move to the Brain's desk. I think it was Arthur, and he kept pressing the eraser button, and the erasers just kept flying out. That amused me. But other than that, honestly, I feel like it just was lacking in quite a lot, actually. It had no real substance to it. It wasn't terrible. It is relatable, and it did give me some nostalgic memories, but compared to pretty much every other episode, it just felt like there wasn't much effort in it.